These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
All right, let's talk Jaylen Brown, because you touched on it with the turnovers thing. Jaylen Brown put up good numbers against the Hawks and against the Pelicans. Against the Hawks, he had 22 points, 5 rebounds. Excuse me, no assists, but he had 2 steals. And then against the Pelicans, he had a much more well-rounded game. He led the team in scoring with 27, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists and 2 steals. But against the Pelicans, and if you look back a couple games against the Thunder, I believe it was, there have been times where it feels like he's just not playing the best basketball in terms of like for the team. Like in the first quarter, I guarantee you Jaylen Brown averages the least passes in the NBA, or at least it feels like it. Like Jaylen Brown in the first quarter keeps the ball, he shoots a lot, and that usually leads to like him scoring a lot of points because he's a pretty good first quarter scorer. But like he's just very unwilling to pass the ball at times. And 7 assists is fine for one thing, but in the first quarter, it never passes. And if he's flat, then the Celtics team will be flat. And it just feels like he is reluctant to give up the basketball at times. Sammy, were you frozen there for a sec? Are you back? Or are you still
I'm half back. Give it a minute because this thing's still red.
I got you. Oh, wait a second.
Now it's blue.
So you're back?
Yeah, I'm back.
All right, well, I can cut a little bit of that, but Sam's been battling internet issues all night.
I even plugged in the Ethernet. I did it. I did what they told me to do in the chat before the game.
Brutal. Yeah, the passing with Jaylen Brown, like the assists are one thing, but it's just like the ball, he doesn't like the pass, it feels like. You know what I'm saying? Especially in that first quarter, which is what I was saying while you were frozen.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
I said Jaylen Brown doesn't like to pass in the first quarter.
No, and he had it going today, so it was okay.
But in the grand scheme, I was saying in the grand scheme of things that it's like it'll either kill you or it'll help you, because if he's not hot, then the whole offense will be dead because he doesn't pass the ball. And I think that's where a lot of the issues with Jaylen Brown come, is just his, and he's good, like you said in the Pelicans game, he shot well, but like I feel like a lot of the problems with Jaylen Brown come from him not passing.
Well, I don't know if that's completely true, at least in the first quarter, because I feel like he's really great in the first quarter a lot. I feel like he is consistently coming out hot. He hasn't always done it lately. There have been a few games where he's been cold. He wasn't great against Atlanta. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. Might not have been great in the first Detroit game.
I can't remember. I just know the Thunder game was rough.
Or OKC. One of them.
I think OKC was rough, yeah.
But in that case, he's not looking to pass. You're right. Because that's his mindset, is to go out and see if he can get going. When he doesn't have it, he needs to realize it and fall back. I think that's a very fair point. But also, I don't know if it's reflecting, obviously, overall, because they're winning games.
Yeah,
but in the first quarter in particular, I don't remember them getting off to a lot of slow starts. Did they really start slow against OKC? I don't remember. I don't remember if they were super slow. I know they were down in that game for a lot of the game, but I don't know if in the first quarter that they were getting killed.
The OKC game, let's check the box score.
Celtics, and it felt like when they were, it was because of the defense.
Yeah. Celtics Thunder box score first quarter. Loading here, sorry.
That's
Celtics lost the first quarter 35-32. Jaylen shot 5 of 7, so he was hot, had 12 points.
He was hot, but again, that's the defense. 35 points to the Thunder is not good.
Yes. I don't know. It's just at times it feels like Jaylen Brown, and I mean you saw it tonight with his 7 turnovers.
I don't disagree. It's just weird. The first quarter doesn't seem to be the problem. I feel like there are just stretches in the game where he doesn't know when to fall back.
And I don't want this like coming across as I'm like picking on Jaylen Brown.
I remember Jack traditionally does not like Jaylen.
That's okay. Let's not start this narrative. I remember I was going to say this. I wrote an article for Celtics blog a while ago, like about him struggling. And then it came out that he like was still hurt, and I didn't know that obviously when I wrote it. And then everyone was coming for me. Everyone was like, unfollow Celtics blog, like this idiots. I'm like, guys, you got to calm down. But No, Jaylen is really good. He's having a good season. He's shooting pretty efficiently, and like you said earlier, he's getting to the rack much easier and much more consistently than last year. He's even shooting pretty well from three. He gives you some
And he
clutch
had a slow
buckets.
start.
He did.
Started slow from three.
He did. So he's bringing it back, but he just gets caught up dribbling too much. And as much as the handle has improved, it's not to the point where he can successfully dribble through traffic consistently, right? Like he'll lose the ball on the drive, and that's where a lot of his turnovers came. Like Jaylen Brown doesn't have as many errant passes turnovers. There are a lot of him just losing the ball while he's dribbling, which is what we saw in the finals. And that's where most of them, I mean, we could watch the tape, but that's where I remember seeing most of them against the Pelicans in the win. But
well, that's one of the things I was pleased with today is that early in the game, he was dishing the ball. He's losing the ball, like you say, when he goes into traffic and he doesn't know when to stop. When he's seeing two guys and going into a crowd, he'll get stripped. Today against the Pelicans, during parts of the game, obviously he had 6 turnovers in the second half, so take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
He was making the right read, and he was finding the guys for three, and it helped that Al Horford and Derek White were red hot at the beginning of the game and throughout, really. I mean, they never really fell off. He had reliable shooters. He was just dishing, taking what the defense gave him.
Yeah, and like you said, he did get off to a good start. 5 of his 7 turnovers were in the first half. He had 2 in the second half. I'm watching some of the turnovers now. One of them was that. Yes, sorry. 5 of his 7 assists were in the first half. 2 of his assists were in the second half, but 6 of his turnovers were in the second half. I'm watching them now. The first one was, remember that behind the back, like he was trying to save the ball, and he threw it away.
Yes.
That counted as one, so that, it wasn't really it. The next 2, him losing the ball, him trying to make a pass because he got stopped on a drive, him dribbling too much in traffic again. Like a lot of them are just him trying to dribble and he's getting caught up and he's looking at the rim instead of looking at his dribble, stuff like that. And he's just not, his handle has never been there, like consistently. It's better this year. It's a lot better this year. But this was kind of like, this Pelicans game was kind of like have you ever seen That's So Raven? It was like a past
flashback.
Yeah,
she sees the future.
I know it wasn't a good analogy, but you know what I'm saying. It was like a flashback.
There's like a million shows that do flashbacks.
All right. I couldn't think of the word flashback, so I was trying to think on the fly and it didn't work.
Never seen like Lost and they all like remember before their plane crashed and they're on this island.
Never seen Lost.
I haven't seen all of it. I've seen enough of it, but
well,
they have
Sam and I, before we were recording, we were kind of talking about how if you look at the box score, Jaylen Brown's games look really good. But like if you watch it, there are a bunch of these little things that like, I mean, like if he cleaned up his handle and his turnovers, like he'd be all NBA every season. Right?
It's just
like,
the read the room thing. It's just the timing of it. It really is. Like you saw the Pelicans storm back into this game multiple times. One of the times I'm sure he was on the floor because it was late in that third quarter when the Celtics were up 18, 19 points, whatever it was.
And they scored most of their points off turnovers.
And it was a bunch of turnovers. It was fast breaks. And before you knew it, that lead was down to 4 or something like that. It was not what you wanted to see. I did take insurance, so I mean, I wasn't thrilled. I obviously want them to win. But I was like, all right, I'm covered. Didn't get the best odds, but I got better odds than I would have got in the first half when I thought about it.
Fair enough. But yeah, Jaylen Brown, he's been having a good season. The other thing is, and this was the big thing from the OKC game. I got mixed up with the poor shooting. His defense has been suspect at times this season. Like he's getting beat off the ball,
the OKC.
like off and on the ball. Like he was getting blown by Aaron Wiggins was running behind him in that OKC game. All these players were just going back and forth, but I didn't notice it as much during the game against the Pelicans.
Tick-tack